What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV. Obviously, a review after the loss in the Carabao Cup final to Liverpool on penalties. I can't lie, it couldn't have been more heartbreaking than that if we tried to. 3 offside goals, every outfield player scored, and then the player that we brought on specifically for the penalty shootouts ends up missing the decisive shootout to cost us the Carabao Cup. And obviously I'm not blaming Kepa. I'll be real, when I start talking about what went right and what went wrong in this game, Kepa has nothing to do with it. Like, he came in for his purpose, very unlucky on a lot of the penalties, but some were taken very well too. I think there was maybe one he could have got a hand to, but like on the same breath there was a few that Kelleher could have got a hand to. So it was just good penalties all around. Like, if you're looking to blame Kepa, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm usually the first one to criticise Kepa, and I'm telling you, this definitely wasn't his fault. But we'll get into it. As always, like and subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV on your way in to the video. Let me know your thoughts. If you're one of these Liverpool fans here to mock it, you're a wild lad. But same way, like and subscribe. Check out Carefree Lewis G as well, and let's get into it. Like, I'll be real, this is the same stuff we've seen the whole season. Like, our attack costs us because they miss key chances and they've got no composure. Our defence is world class as per usual, and we did really well to stop Liverpool from getting as many chances as possible. I thought Rudiger, Thiago Silva were as brilliant as they always are. Chalobah was targeted. Like, I'm not going to say he was poor, but he was targeted, and he was kind of shown us why he's not really at the level of Rudiger and Silva yet. But they're both at a very high standard, and he's very young. So I wouldn't put too much blame into him. Like, Luis Diaz looks like a sick player. I'll be real, he gave Chalobah so many questions to ask in that game. He was probably Liverpool's best player outright. Chalobah had his work cut out keeping him quiet, but for the most part he did it. Like, we gotta give him credit for that. And defensively, like, other than the first goal from Matip that was offside, which I think was very harsh, but it is what it is, we looked like we were never going to concede. We could have played for another hour or two and we would have just blocked everything, or Silva would have cleared something from the line, or Mendy would have pulled out another world-class save. Seriously, Edouard Mendy is the best goalkeeper in the world, and I don't want to hear otherwise on that. No one can even lace his gloves the way that this guy is playing. And even though he's lost today, he has had an unbelievable last 365 days, and he has pulled everything out of him. And if he continues on this trajectory, he's going to be looked at as one of the best keepers of all time in a decade. And hold me on that one if he continues this form, because he was utterly ridiculous today. Some of the saves I was seeing, like the double save on Mane, that one on the Van Dijk header at the end where it looked like it was a winner. Every single time our defence looked like they've been breached, you forget about the last wall, and that's Edouard Mendy, and he saved us. Thiago Silva as well. Age is like fine wine, timeless. So you already know the lines that comes with this guy's name, but he was unbelievable today. Blocks for days. I think he had 2 goal line clearances, not even 1. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but literally marshalled the defence superbly. And Chalobah, who was struggling at phases, had Thiago Silva next to him, which was a massive help to him. First 10-15 minutes, like, we actually took it to Liverpool, but then they started growing into the game and there was long phases where we were just being utterly dominated. But we kind of like that way in finals. Like, let's be real, the Champions League final was amazing from us individually, but it was a very defensive performance after the goal, and we played excellently as well. Super Cup, we weren't really that great. Club World Cup, we definitely weren't that great in the final. We usually have a habit of being on the back foot in these finals, but we managed it so well because of our defence. Kovacic and Kante as well absolutely ran their hearts out. N'Golo Kante with another brilliant performance in a final. Like, this guy is genuinely on Drogba levels of a big game player. He was utterly ridiculous today. Kovacic as well did really well with his ball progressions, and he was all over the pitch for the majority of the game. The problem was going forward, and it's always been the same problem going forward. We made the chances and it was just bottled. Like, Mason Mount, he had a horrific performance today, but I don't really blame him either, because my only gripe with the lineup is that he shouldn't have started. He's come straight back from an injury. He has no match sharpness because he's been out of the game for a few weeks. I don't get why we threw him on into a cup final. Like, he struggled, but it was kind of obvious that we were going to struggle as well, because he needs some sharpness. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he came off on the bench from for the Lille game. And if he didn't, we didn't even give him that time to be able to try and get into the phase of games and get back to full match sharpness. And it just wasn't right playing him in this game. But in spite of it, it was a poor performance from him. Pulisic, good movement. I think he did well with his ball progressions as well, but the first chance, like, he should have done so much better on. And Kai Havertz as well, his movement was excellent, but like some of the issues, like at least the goal was offside, to be honest, so I won't say too much about it. But like, all I'm seeing, offside or onside, was just poor misses. Like, the best players that we had going forward were actually the two that we least expected, Timo Werner and Lukaku. But then when they actually scored, and Havertz as well, we fell victim to their offsides. And I think it was on Kopish or something. Someone told me before going into this game that Liverpool have had the most offsides called for them in the Premier League by about double the team in second. So I'm not surprised that we had 3 offside goals in the game. It's just so annoying, but Liverpool are good at it, and they just showed it to perfection today. That's why, like, I'm annoyed. I'm mostly annoyed at our attack because, like, even though we got to penalties and we did very well defensively, it's another one of those games where the game could have been won if we actually took our chances, and we didn't. Mason Mount, I know he was poor, but he had the 2 best chances of the game on a plate. And it's the same problem every single time we drop points, every time we lose a game. It's always because we're not taking our chances. And it reared its head yet again today. Penalties, like, don't blame Kepa for it. I know we only bring him on for penalties, but what's he going to do if the majority are good penalties and he gets unlucky with a few of them? Like, he did everything he could in terms of tactics and in terms of mind games. I saw him trying to show players onto one side, knowing that they go to the other, and he actually got close on a few of them. Like, I know because we bring him on for penalties, there's an emphasis on him that he has to save all of them, but penalties go either way. So I'm not necessarily here blaming Kepa for anything, and I don't want anyone else to be blaming him too. I thought the attack was poor, but it's the same as every game. Alonso, to be honest, was very good when he was on the ball. I do think he struggled when he was off the ball in terms of getting back into position, in terms of 50-50s or chasing lost balls. He struggled on that mark, but it is Marcos Alonso. Azpilicueta did all he could on the right-hand side, and Reece James, as soon as he came on, the crosses into the box looked so much better. It was just a case of one of the other little issues I see when it comes to Chelsea, and it's we never seem to make the pass quickly. We always take too many touches. Like Trevor Chalobah into Lukaku for, I think, the 3rd offside goal. He was calling for it a good 2-3 touches before we even got to that position. And we didn't receive the ball. And it was the same thing, I think, when Kovacic had the pass. I was seeing it in little phases throughout the game. Players are calling for the ball, but we're not moving the ball quickly enough. And that's why some of these offsides happen, and that's why some of our attacks die out. So, like, that's most of my issues with the game. But overall, like, it's a final. It's heartbreaking. It is what it is. When you get to penalties, win or lose, like, you can't really put too much of a blame on the team. It was a Tuchel masterclass defensively. We were just very unlucky. But guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV. And we're out. Peace.